Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the TIberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy!
That's me, TIberius!
Today, we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a role-playing video about working in a warehouse, a book about southern cooking, and we have a totally awesome guest. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing, the lifeguard, Izzy Vaden!
Totally awesome. Then Pro Wrestling Action presents Radical Rumbel. That's Sunday, May 21st at the Altamont Springs Civic Center. It's totally tubular, dude. It's the Radical Rumble. Get your tickets now at pwarumble.eventbrite.com. See great talent like the Lifeguard Izzy Vaden, the Adonis Richard King, and more Sunday, May 21st.
Daniel, what are you doing?
I'm promoting the show that you're on.
But you're in my shot.
But I'm kind of...
You're ruining this. Come on, man.
I could kind of go here.
Okay.
That would make sense. I could just do that. But I mean, the show's going to be great. Totally awesome.
That's over with. And Izzy is a professional wrestler and likes Baywatch?
Yeah, I like Baywatch, but I'm also a lifeguard. So it's kind of like, like a rite of passage, I guess. It's kind of mandatory.
Okay. Today, we're going to start off with the video of the week, and this is going to be a box. We love boxes.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Assembly Line. This game is made by Little Lobster. Because it's on Roblox, you're able to play it on PC, Mac, Xbox, and even your cell phone. And it is free.
Free?
Well, this is the only game from Little Lobster.
That is so wicked.
Yeah. So first off, you appear in front of a conveyor belt and are presented with 3 buttons. The first one is red. When you press it, a box comes down and stops in front of you, like a conveyor belt.
Huh.
Then there's a green button. Now when you press that, some packing material fills into the box. And finally, you have the blue button. When you press that, an object / a hat goes into the box and then it leaves the conveyor belt.
That's a lot of buttons.
Okay, so this is kind of like packing up boxes for Amazon or something. I do this for like 3 minutes and there's an animation of a boss telling me off and leaving. Well, I keep doing it every few minutes and there's other animations. Sometimes it turns the lights off so you can't see. Luckily, the buttons light up, so you can still see the buttons. After 30 boxes, I kind of got bored with it.
Still pretty challenging, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I give Assembly Line 4 out of 10 stars because even my dad could only play for like 20 minutes before he was bored. And he likes factory games, so this was surprising. It was a cool idea, but it's not really fun after a few minutes in.
I get that.
And now it's time for the book of the week, Paula Deen's My First Cookbook. This book is written by Paula Deen and Martha Nesbitt. Let me read the back of the book. In fact, Izzy, would you like to do the honors?
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much. What better way to celebrate childhood than pancakes around the kitchen table? Or how about a quick snack of ants on a log? Paula Deen's My First Cookbook is like a big hug from the queen of Southern hospitality and charm herself.
Well, this is not an AR book, so you will not get any points for reading it. But it will allow you to open up a conversation to let your parents let you cook in the kitchen. Well, this is a cookbook, so not a regular book because it has recipes for cooking.
That is true.
So Paula Deen, you know her because she was on TV multiple times and is very polite. So me and my dad did some of the recipes, and they were really hard to perform because my dad made me do it myself and nearly burnt the house down. But the aftermath, after you get it right, felt amazing. I would suggest to bake honey butter with homemade bread because it sounds and tastes good off of experience. I would also say the cheese toast, Mexican omelets, and sloppy joes are a great option if you're up for a quick snack.
Woo, I'm kind of hungry.
Now there are a lot of other recipes, but I want you to find them yourself and cook them. Well, you don't want to cook? then go ask your mom or dad to do it. And showing interest in the type of food to cook might get your parents to cook more homemade meals. Well, I give Paula Deen's My First Cookbook 8 out of 10 stars because I really liked the recipes and the taste was so good. And when I messed up, I wasn't called a donkey or a stupid head by Gordon Ramsay.
I gotta make sure I get that book then.
See tiberiusshow.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help people.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
The website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
And now it's time for an interview of an interesting person. Today's guest is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing, the lifeguard, Izzy Vaden!
Sunday, May 21st, when Pro Wrestling Action presents Radical Rumble. Get your tickets now at PWA.
Daddy's doing it again.
It's at the Eastbound Civic Center. It is totally awesome. It's going to be one of the greatest shows you've ever seen. Going back to the 80s with Pro Wrestling Action. It's going to be a great show.
Can't believe you gotta do it right. You gotta do it for yourself.
Is it always like that?
Yeah, about.
Okay. Making sure.
Well, Izzy is a professional wrestler.
Indeed, I am.
So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
Honestly, I'm actually having a blast. Everyone around here is so nice to me, but it's better than being on the lifeguard stand the entire time, actually talking to people. So, different change of pace. It feels great.
Nice. So you are listed as a professional wrestler. That means you get paid for it. Well, what got you interested in wrestling in the first place?
Believe it or not, I was around 11 or 10 years old, and I played a game. That's what got me into professional wrestling in the first place.
Nice.
Those kind of things really can introduce you to new kind of careers. You never know, really.
So how long have you been doing this?
About 2 years. I feel old.
Wow. Now, what is the most misunderstood part about this job?
That the wrestling ring is a trampoline? It's not. I wish it was like that. It is. You don't bounce off of it because you want to. It's because there's nowhere else. It's hard. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna break it for you. The wrestling ring hurts. Everything hurts.
It does.
It's real. I'm in pain as we speak. But that's because I fought off Sharkov. But that's besides the point. I'm in pain. But anyway.
Now, how did you get the inspiration to create the moves that you're in wrestling? And what's your signature move?
What I'd say, not inspirate the moves I do, but the name or the story behind it. I do a sort of a German suplex, but I elevate them on my shoulders. And I call that the electric eel because I love the ocean. And I just, had to get the little homage in there. But my signature move is actually a rock bottom. So I just, pick them up, slam them straight down. Rock bottom.
I'm sure their back would be hurting then.
Very much.
Does wrestling require a lot of training?
Oh, very much so, but not just ring work, but your stamina, which is the most important part because that will really determine if you can stay and keep up in that ring. And don't get me wrong, no matter how long you're in that ring, if you really can't keep up, if you're out of breath that fast, the fans will definitely eat you up alive, and you probably will not get another wrestling match again.
Oh, goodness. Are you worried about getting hurt when you're wrestling?
Not as much hurting by myself. I'd rather more focused on if I can hurt/save my opponent. What I mean by that is I'm going to dish out as much damage I can on my opponent just so I can get the win. And even if I don't, I always have a few ice packs just to put on some bruises. Other than that, same old, same old.
Now, what is the best part about being a professional wrestler?
The traveling. I love the traveling just because I do it more than just in Florida. I've gone to Kentucky, Indiana, Texas, but the best part about it for me is driving to those places, experiencing, just seeing the entire landscape. It's amazing. It's beautiful. You never really understand or appreciate the earth until you really see it.
Now, who is your most challenging opponent ever?
Ooh. I'm going to have to say Richard King. I fought him in Pro Wrestling Action's Riddle Me This. That match, I will admit, really took the best out of me, and I hope I challenged him as well, because I did teach him the meaning of respect, because he gave me a sliver of respect at the end of the day.
How much did you give?
More than enough, apparently, because I'm just so nice. I'm so cool, you know. How dare I be
You're
such
cool,
a gentleman?
nice.
I'm just, and I got the greatest suntan. Don't mind that.
You're good. Well, what is the hardest part about being a professional wrestler?
Again, the traveling, because as fun as it is, expensive. It's fine.
Now, when you're on the street, do fans or people that you know of try to challenge you?
More than enough, surprisingly. And it's either right after the show or weeks after the show. People will just like, hey, I saw you that one time. Fight me. And they start taking off their shirts or something. I'm just like, the sun is out. I'm not in my element. And, you know, but put me in a good place like, you know, a wrestling ring. And then I'll be ready to take on anybody.
Okay. Now, my dad said that most people have a day job when they do such a fun job. Well, do you have a day job? And if so, what is it?
So y'all made my job is a warehouse job. There's a video game of it now. I'm getting flashbacks now. It's just so hard stacking boxes on boxes and then move it, and I can do it. No, I can do it. A warehouse job. It's fun.
Well, do you make your own gear?
I actually do. I made this out of like glue and paint. It is not that hard, because to me, I like to do it myself. I'm a huge DIY kind of guy, so if I can do it myself, I'm definitely going to do it myself. And at this point, I've added Pokemon on my gear. That's how cool I am.
That's cool.
I know.
Would you build a box out of 2x4s?
I've done it before. I'll do it again.
Nice. Well, how'd you get the ideas for these designs?
Basic. You know, I can always watch Baywatch, but also cartoons, believe it or not. I've seen a lot of animations nowadays that are just like really well designed and really creative, that I can also shape into sort of like a beach or ocean kind of little atmosphere and find a way to like mash the two. And when I can do that, it comes out beautifully. I'm telling you. Wait till my next gear comes out. And in a minute, it'll come out and it's going to be amazing. Just you wait.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is the story about the lifeguard? Did you get saved as a kid?
So the reason I call myself the lifeguard, I actually got my first swimming lesson. I just got pushed in, and I drowned. And that's it. And I thought to myself, I need a lifeguard. And then years later, hey,
huh?
I like Baywatch. I needed a lifeguard. I'm gonna be the lifeguard, and you're not gonna find a better lifeguard out there. I'm telling you, I'm like that. I'm him.
Mm-hmm. You're him.
I'm him.
Now, what was the craziest thing that has happened while you were doing your job?
I almost lost my toe driving a jack. I was driving it a little too fast, and someone threw a potato at me. I work in a food kind of warehouse, and yeah, we're all stupid. So he threw a potato at me. I swerved and I hit a shelf. I was really close from losing a toe.
Which
Fun
toe?
times. My pinky. No one cares about that one though. It's there.
Yeah,
You're not going to be like, oh no, my pinky's toe's gone. No, that.
That's actually kind of funny. But who can you say was the person that helped drive your passion the most?
The best, in my opinion, the best WWE superstar of all time. In my opinion, John Cena. Just his attitude of never giving up, hustle, loyalty, and respect. Always showing up, showing out, showing off. Oh, man, I love that music. That right there. Just, he's my biggest inspiration. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, what advice would you give to my listeners if they want to grow up and become a professional wrestler?
No matter what you do, work your butt off. And if you don't think it's paying off, you're wrong. It will pay off. It may not feel like it. Don't get me wrong. I've been there. But it takes time. It's not a race. You always got to work your way up there. You're making a name for yourself. You're young. You're doing the best you can. Keep going, and it'll pay off. And the best advice I give as a lifeguard is just keep swimming. which is like another term for saying don't give up.
Oh, and this is an expensive job to get into. I'm sure the gear and training has to be costly, right?
It was very much, but before I even started training, I worked in a coffee shop, which was my only income and was a big mistake because I made little to no money and I saved almost every paycheck to pay for training and schooling and gear. And if I had to give advice to my past self is leave that job, go get a warehouse job. And it's not like actually play the warehouse video game. Do whatever it takes because you need money if you want to make it. It's going to be hard, but you got to do it.
He's not wrong.
I'm not.
Well, if you can think of one thing that would make your job easier, what would it be?
I'd say more employees. Simple as that. There's not that many employees in my line of field, and it's not like a bad thing. It's just a lot of more people would rather work a 9 to 5 in the desk rather than I prefer actually being on the move. And as you can tell, I'm pretty muscular. So as you can see, I'm always on the move. I'm always proactive, and I'd rather work that kind of job. I know there are other people out there that feel the same way and just don't work those jobs. I'd say definitely get a warehouse job because not just the pay is great. You'll feel amazing. You might lose weight. You might gain muscle. It's a good job that'll actually keep you on your toes. So I actually recommend that. More people, more employees.
Well, what was that one match that you're most proud of?
The one match I'm most proud of is actually the Richard King match that I had at Pro Wrestling Action. Because, again, I put my everything in that match. And, I may have not. No, I didn't win, but I want to say winning isn't important. But I like that I got to entertain the people that way. That even though I didn't win, every single person was behind me and cheering.
Man, that is so facts.
I know.
Now, that's a good man right there. That's a good man. What was the best advice that you've ever received, and who gave you that advice?
If I had to say the best advice I've ever heard, and this applies to not just professional wrestling, but I'd say life in general and any career path you do not stay comfortable. Always go out and stay uncomfortable. Meet new people, be in different surroundings you're not usually always with, but always adjust to it. Because I always tell myself when I'm in a new wrestling place, it only takes one night for me to really let loose, to really get to know everyone and just be comfortable. All it takes is one night. And whether I wrestle or not, I'm going to have fun, have a good time, and meet new people, joke around, because we all have the same thing in common, pro wrestling. So if I had the best advice, don't stay comfortable. And honestly, I can't tell you who gave it to me because I don't even remember. It could have been one of my coaches. It could have been a random person I saw at a gas station. Who knows? All I can tell you is that was the best advice I've ever heard.
I'm sure that person who gave you that advice is watching this right now.
They better be because I'm here. So.
Well, what was the first job that you ever had?
My very first job was lawn service where all I did was pull weeds. They didn't trust me to use the lawnmowers. And they just said, you know what, we'll have you standing in the hot sun for 8 hours and just pull weeds all day. So, yeah, that was my very first job.
How much did they pay you?
10 an hour. Not too bad.
Hey, it was more than minimum wage at that time.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. Well, was there anything you learned from that job to how to be a better wrestler?
Just to always keep working. You'd never want to look not busy. You always want to at least look busy. Or not only that, really be productive. No matter what. There's always something to do. There's no reason you should just be standing there on your phone doing nothing. There's always something you can do, whether it's stretching, getting to talk to someone, no matter what, getting ready, getting prepped, or actually, pulling weeds for there's always something you can do before you can relax. So just always keep yourself busy.
Mm-hmm. What message do you want to tell children all over the world about doing the work that you do?
That it's not easy, but this is the most fun I've really had. It's also really entertaining. If it's something you actually consider doing yourself, know that it will be very challenging mentally and physically. But this is, quite honestly, a really fun job to do. It's not too bad. It's pretty stressful, maybe, but you kind of have to grow up with that. You mature the older you get, and the more you realize, I got to put the fun aside and put the work first. So be ready for that.
Mm-hmm. When you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you always know you were going to be a wrestler?
Actually, not first. So when you're a kid, every little thing you see, whether it's cool, you're always going to want to say that's what you want to do. So like when I was a child, I always want to be an astronaut. I want to be a cop. I want to be an architect. I want to be an engineer. But when I really, really saw professional wrestling and I saw that anyone can do it, I knew I wanted to do it for not just like for fun. I want to do it as a career, maybe till the day I die. I want to keep doing this, and I want to like hopefully be financially stable enough to do it to where I get elevated, do it for in front of millions, be the best. That's the end game, to just be the best at it.
Also, don't forget physically stable.
Physically, dude, absolutely. I'm still sore, but it's fine.
So, kind of run me through it. What kind of tasks does a wrestler have to do on a daily basis?
Well, you do have to hit the gym. You have to be at tip-top shape or be in the best shape you can be. Work on your stamina so you can always keep up in the ring. Not only that, we have to eat a lot just to keep up with the muscle mass that we have. And then, you can, for me, this might be different. I like to watch other wrestling matches and I study them. So I can try to like use either those moves or that kind of style or what they did. There's always something you can learn from something else. You're never not learning, but because I'm always putting in that work, and I always want to keep myself productive during that. Mm-hmm. But oh man, just on a daily basis, I would have to say just like surrounding myself with professional wrestling as much as I can.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
That I'm a professional wrestler. That's right. I'm real. It's really hard. I'm really tough though. I'm big and strong now. But I'm a pro wrestler. You don't believe me? Too bad. I am a pro wrestler. Suck it, 10-year-old Izzy. Yeah. That's it. I might be nervous with it. I might throw the kid. I don't know.
Well, what was the biggest mistake you ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
The biggest mistake, this actually took me in wrestling, and it really like bummed me out because there was a pretty big wrestling opportunity I had around my hometown, and I just left. I didn't do the work. I didn't really do much to help with the show. I just kind of ran away. And this was before I knew to not stay comfortable. I was really scared around these new people I've never seen before. And I remember that night I was like really upset and tearing myself down about it. But I also knew there will be better opportunities, or they may give me an opportunity again. And when I do that, I'm never going to stop. I'm not going to quit. I always have to just go with it, push myself to stay uncomfortable so I can get comfortable, so I can elevate. And that's all it takes. It's tough. It's really hard. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But it's necessary if this is what I want to do.
That's true. So, when you're not wrestling or promoting your next match, what do you do for fun? Easily,
just lay in a pool, eat some Sour Patch Kids, or take a nap. It's not that hard. It's one of the three.
What about pool table?
I don't have one. I'm actually not good at it either.
I can help you.
You really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, do you play video games? And if you do, what's your favorite one?
Oh, man. My favorite video game is a game I'm still stuck on, which is Cuphead, because I've had that game for 6 years and I still can't beat the final boss. So I'm still kind of like working my way up there. And that's still somehow my favorite game. But I'm gonna get there. I will. I'm telling myself that now. I'm gonna beat the game.
I haven't even beaten the first aisle. Holy.
Wait, really?
No, I haven't even gotten the airplane yet.
You'll get there. Listen, it's not that hard.
Okay.
I tell myself that. You'll be fine.
Okay. So what was your favorite book to read?
My favorite book to read are honestly anything Dr. Seuss, because as short as it is, they tell stories. And that's what I want to do when I wrestle. But like the best thing about Dr. Seuss is, even if it didn't have the illustrations, you could tell what is going on.
Yeah.
Every little thing, every word has a story behind it. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for the illustrations, you'd have an even bigger imagination with it. Mm-hmm. But anything Dr. Seuss you could give me, I'll keep reading it for hours, which is weird because I graduated high school and yet I'm reading kids' books. That's besides the point.
Okay, now can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid's show. But that one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
my first day as a lifeguard, I peed in the ocean. Okay, I said it. I was nervous. I saw a shark, and it turns out it wasn't a shark.
What was it?
It was a kid in shark shorts. You're laughing. Stop laughing. It was scary. It was very scary. Okay? I get PTSD to this day. It's fine.
Was there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
Just follow my journey. You know, I'm only 2 years in, but I still have such a long journey ahead of me. And I'd love it if everyone could also just follow me and see how I go through this crazy little story I call being a pro wrestler.
Well, do you have a Facebook or website for my listeners that want to follow you?
Well, I do have a link tree that has all my social media on it, but Instagram, all that other stuff, Lifeguard Vaden, find me easily. Twitter, same thing. Facebook, just Izzy Vaden. And, my other social media, I'd say maybe like my YouTube channel. I do post some matches on there.
And speaking of websites, you want to go to pwarumble.eventbrite.com. Get your tickets now for Pro Wrestling Action presents Radical Rumble! I'll throw myself out. Okay. Radical Rumble!
Get out. How does he keep coming back in here?
I don't know. Well, what was that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
What's my favorite food?
What is it?
Publix chicken tender sub. It's the best thing I've ever had.
Solid, Riley.
What about you?
Oh, dang. I would say
No
if we're
pressure.
going back to Publix, most definitely their Publix Italian sub.
That is really good. Okay, now I feel fat because I want to get that now. But
It's with that mozzarella cheese, that provolone,
oh, dude, it's all good.
with that mayo and spinach. Mm-mm-mm.
Oh man.
Well, thank you, Izzy, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Absolutely, I can. If you need me, because I'm good at math, I can count dolphins. Is that useful? I hope so.
It is.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
Now, thank you, Izzy, for helping me with Math Corners. This week, we're going to do some more multi-step word problems. My dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve.
Okay.
Today, we're going to talk about water.
Water.
Mm-hmm.
I love water.
Same here.
Good.
Well, Izzy is very thirsty after a wrestling match. He can buy bottles of water in packages of 6 for $8.10, or in packages of 4 for $7. Well, how much money does he save by buying 24 bottles of water at a better price? Well, first, this is a real world problem because people do like to enjoy drinking water when they're thirsty. But usually you only need 1 bottle to solve the issue, not 24. But let's try it anyway.
Okay.
So to solve this one, you have to figure out the difference of each amount out of 24 bottles. Okay. So 24 divided by 6 is 4. So you times the price of the package, which is $8.10 by 4, and you get $32.40.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you figure out that 24 is divided by 4 is 6, which times the price of that package is, which is $7 by 6, you get $42 exactly. So now we know that the package of 6 is way better. But that's not the question. The question is, how much does he save on 24 bottles for the new one? So you subtract the $32.40 from the $42, and you get $9.60 savings. You must have been really thirsty, Izzy.
Yeah. So sorry, I was counting my fingers. Yeah.
So, Izzy, do you really have to go buy your own water, or do the fans get them for you?
Both. Usually I can get it myself, or, I steal it from the audience. Actually, no, I don't steal. But I would like to borrow it and give it back empty. That's fine.
Now, Izzy, my teacher said that I would use math every day. Do you use math in your work?
Well, yes. To see the trajectory of how I jump from the top rope into the... No, I don't use math in real life. No one really uses it like that. I mean, I know numbers mostly, but yeah, that's about it.
How about counting your boxes when you're finishing with the boxes?
My boss does that for me.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Izzy, for your help with Math Corners.
Absolutely.
The TIberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
TIberius
sent you.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and ability. This week, we're going to talk about leadership. For me, I think leadership is the act of loving what is good, having self-control, and being disciplined. The qualities of leadership are providing guidance and direction, organization, and being a positive influence on others.
Absolutely.
So this week, I saw leadership with my friend Giselle. She helps me with my show and directs me to sit up straight and so forth. She tells me when I'm doing a great job and sometimes how to tells me when I'm doing something that would not work on camera correctly. I may not like it when it happens, but she is trying to help me put my best performance forward. And this is providing guidance and direction as well as having self-control. Trust me, it is very hard to make only hand signals and not say anything when the camera's rolling. So Izzy, did you see or use leadership at all this week?
I did have to step up for my work of my job, basically. In a warehouse, we all have to do our own little pallets of our own little boxes. We have our own stacks. But there are times where some of them aren't in the right order. And when they're not in the right order, they can't be put in the truck safely. So I had to take leadership into my own hands and help organize not only my own, not only like my coworkers, but I even had the boss help me put all these little boxes and all these things in the right order so we could load it up properly. And it's always those little things that can really help you gain leadership in life. Whether it's something small like helping someone find their way home or someone help find their dog, or actually take the time to gather everyone around you and get one job or task done. That's all it takes.
And that's why he's a good man. Of all of the Heart of a Lion virtues, which one do you see the most?
For me, obedience.
Why?
I believe, like, in my life, doing what's right, or being obedient to your parents, or following what your guardian or whoever's looking out for you says and does, because they want what's best for you. So I believe being obedient over them will help you in life to not only follow their footsteps, but to be also a leader for others. And when you do obedience, you also grow from it and you learn from it that this is the right thing to do.
We should always try and be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Absolutely.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing, the lifeguard, Izzy Vaden, for being on my show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
It has been so much fun talking to you today. I think we learned a lot about the world of professional wrestling and how much fun it is as a job.
It really is. And I hope I just want this to give a new insight for everyone to know that this is the funnest job, honestly.
Do you mind giving your website again?
Again, you can find me on any social media such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Lifeguard Vaden. YouTube is also Lifeguard Vaden.
Also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The TIberius Show. And please be sure to visit The TIberius Show on YouTube and subscribe. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The TIberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
And don't forget, come out to Pro Wrestling Action Sunday, May 21st. It's the Radical Rumble. Get your tickets now at pwa.eventbrite.com. So that's pwa rumble.eventbrite.com. Why is it getting dark in here? It's getting dark in here. Pro Wrestling Action rules!